Welcome. In this playthrough Marvel Champions card game, we have War Machine taking on Proxima, Midnight, and Corvus Glaive in Tower Defense. So for our villain setup, we have Proxima here. Schema 1, attack of 3, force center up. When she attacks you, choose either deal damage to Avenger's Tower, or she gets +2 for this attack. Cannot be defeated while Corvus Glaive has any hit points remaining and starts with 12 hit points. And Corvus Glaive, Schema 2, attack of 2. After he makes an undefended attack, discard the top card of the encounter deck, deal damage to Avenger's Tower for each boost icon on that card. And he cannot be defeated while Proxima has hit points left, starts with 11. Then her main schemes, I am using just the Tower Defense, Standard, and Armies of Titan. Set up, reveal stage 2A, and put it into play next to this stage, so there are 2 main schemes and 2 villains in play. And then on this one, threshold of 6. When this stage would be completed, remove all threat from this stage instead, then deal 6 damage to Avenger's Tower, starts with 1. Then the Armies of Thanos. When revealed, put the Avenger's Tower environment into play, stronghold side face up. Put the Focus Defense attachment into play attached to this stage. Each player searches encounter deck for a copy of the Black Order Besieger and puts it into play, engage with them, then shuffle the encounter deck. Threshold of 6 on this. When this stage completed, remove all threat from the stage instead, then deal each player 1 face down encounter card. So Avenger's Tower, unique rule does not apply. A force response after damage is placed here. If there's at least 9 damage here, remove all of it, then flip this over. So basically we'll lose the game once we take 9 damage here and another 9 on the damage version of Avenger's Tower. And Focus Defense, the villain who matches the attached scheme is the active villain. Force response after the player phase ends, attach this card to the other main scheme. And then the Black Order Besieger coming in, Schema 1, attack for 2, 3 health. After he engages you, which he's doing immediately, choose to either deal a damage to Avenger's Tower or deal 2 damage to your identity. So we'll be adding a damage to the Avenger's Tower. And then for War Machine, thwart of 1, attack of 2, 2 defense, locked and loaded. Response after you change to this form, place 5 ammo counters on him. Hence has a 5 on this side, 10 health. This side, recovery of 3, hand size of 6. So in action, choose a War Machine card in your discard pile and shuffle it into your deck. And force response after you change to this form, discard each ammo counter from your identity. Now I'm going with Justice for him, so we've got 2 of the Power of Justice. 3 for Justice, 3 clear the areas, a Sense of Justice, Counterintelligence, Under Surveillance, Spycraft, then Wiccan, Quasar, Agent Coulson, Euros, and Quake. In our basic cards, we have our 3 resources, Quinn Carrier, Helicarrier, Endurance, Downtime, and Mockingbird. All right, finish shuffling up our encounter deck. Then we can get Mr. James Rhodes set up here with his 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, clear the area, upgraded chassis, Wiccan, targeted strike for Justice, and Iron Man. We're just going to keep Wiccan. 5 more cards, Missile Launcher, Genius, Agent Coulson, Sense of Justice, and Power of Aggression. Or Justice, I mean. All right, use his ability to shuffle the upgraded chassis back in our deck. Then we're going to bring in Agent Coulson. Thwart of 2, attack of 1, 3 health. After he enters play, search your deck and discard pile for a preparation card. Add it to your hand and shuffle your deck. Done there. We are going to go for counter intelligence because I'm just going to use it as a resource. To bring in our missile launcher. Exhaust it to remove an ammo counter from War Machine. Deal 2 damage to an enemy. This attack gains ranged. Then we'll bring in Wiccan. Thwart of 1, attack of 1, 3 health. After he thwarts, discard the top card of the encounter deck. For each boost icon discarded this way, deal a damage to an enemy. And we'll go ahead and flip over. Get her 5 counters. Use one of them to do, actually, hold off on that just a second. We're going to use Wiccan to thwart first. He's going to do 2 damage, which we'll just put over here. Then do this ability for 2, and he'll attack for 1 to get rid of that. And then we'll attack for 2 down to 8. And end her turn. Drawing 5 cards. Got to clear the area. Some strength, spycraft, endurance, and a Quinn carrier. All right, we got a threat on each of those. That moves over. So attacking, we are going to, when she attacks, choose either deal a damage to the tower or she gets +2 attack. We're going to put a damage on the tower. And we're just going to take this base 3, 4 damage coming our way. We go down to 6. Counter card. An Outrider, scheme 1, attack 1, 2 health. When revealed, discard a card at random from your hand. That's troubling. Losing Spycraft. That would have been nice to get in. All right, we're going to bring in the Quinn Carrier. Play only if your identity has the Avenger trait, which we do. It's a resource, exhaust it to generate a wild resource. So we'll go ahead and do that to bring in Endurance, giving us +3 hit points. So up to 9. Agent Coulson's going to thwart for 2. Wiccan is going to thwart for 1. And do his ability, dealing 0 damage. Then we'll spin the counter to do 2 damage here. And attack for 2 on this side. And end her turn. 5 cards. Got a Repulsor Beam, Power of Justice, Targeted Strike, Mockingbird, and the card we want, the Shoulder Cannon. Thread on each of those. Move that over. He's going to attack. Wiccan's going to defend, so he's a base 2, 3, 4, and he is out. And counter card. City is under attack. Hinder 1. When defeated, the player who defeated the scheme draws a card, and it's going to prevent us from taking threat off of the main schemes. So we're going to use the Quinn Carrier to help pay for a Shoulder Cannon. Exhaust this, deal a damage to an enemy. You may remove an ammo counter from War Machine to ready the Shoulder Cannon. Then we're going to play a Targeted Strike, remove an ammo counter from War Machine, remove 3 threat from a scheme. That's going to let us draw a card into a Scorched Earth. Then we'll spend a counter to do 2 damage, down to 6. Then we will deal a damage, spin the counter to ready, deal another damage down to 7. Then we're going to thwart for 1 and flip over. And end her turn. Going to keep Mockingbird. 5 more cards. So Munitions Bunker, Full Auto, some Energy, Helicarrier, and a Repulsor Beam. So add some threat. Move that over. She's going to thwart for 1. Just 1. Then a counter card. We're under attack again. All right, we're going to bring in a Munitions Bunker. Alter Ego action, exhaust it to place 2 ammo counters on here. Hero action, exhaust it to move ammo counters on here to War Machine. Then we'll flip over, get our 5 tokens. Thwart for 2. We'll thwart for 1, then for 2. Allows us to draw a card. For justice, use a Quinn carrier. Actually, yeah, Quinn carrier plus 2 to bring in Mockingbird. See enters play, stun an enemy. We will stun over here. And then thwart for 1. Then 2 damage from that. And we'll go 1 damage down to 3. Pitch a token to ready. 1 more damage down to 2. Pitch a token to ready. Take it down to 1. Might as well keep it going. Pitch a token to ready. And in the turn, I'm going to pitch a card, keeping a helicarrier, Scorched Earth, Quake, full auto, and upgraded chassis. So he goes to attack, lose stun. Counter card. He's now going to get Retaliate 1 as a hero action. We can take a damage and spend an energy and physical resource to discard that card. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a damage. Spend that as a physical. This is the energy. Thwart for 1. I'm going to bring in Quake. Thwart 1, attack for 2 health. After a minion schemes, exhaust her to deal 2 damage to that minion. We're going to use her to thwart for 1. Then we'll spend 1 to deal 2 damage, down to 5, and that to do 1 damage, down to 4. Then we'll flip over, heal for 3, up to 11. Use the ability for a targeted strike to get shuffled back in. And use that ability for 2 more counters. End of turn. Keep the helicarrier, getting 5 more. Clear the area. For justice, a gauntlet gun, targeted strike, and another gauntlet gun. All right, 1 on each. Scheming for 1, just 1 again. Counter card. So choose to either deal 1 damage to a tower or deal 2 to our identity. We'll put it on the tower. And use his ability. Do we want the chassis? I'll just go repulsor beam. And put 2 more counters on there. And flip over. All right, we're going to use the Quinn carrier to clear the area. Remove 2 threat. If this removes the last threat on that scheme, draw a card. Draw into a downtime. Then we're going to spend 3 to bring in a helicarrier. It's an action. Exhaust it, choose a player, reduce the resource cost of the next card that player plays this phase by 1. We'll go ahead and do that. For Justice, to remove 3 threat from a scheme. And when I flipped, I got 5 ammo on me. So we will spend 1, exhaust that to do 2 damage. And then exhaust that to do 1. Then we will attack for 2. And keep those to defend with. All right, ending our turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Counter card, Pulsar Beam, Euros, Under Surveillance, and Quasar. And we're going to shuffle that and get 1 more. Power of Justice. So a threat on each. Move that over. Attacking for 2. Mockingbird's going to defend. So 5 damage coming in, and we're good. Get another encounter card. First one, when revealed, heal 2 damage from each villain. Give each villain a tough status card. That sucks. So up to 2 health. And tough. And up to 4 health. And tough. And Corvus Glaive is going to activate against us. So defending with Quake for 1, 2. Add the other villain's attack on it. So it's 5 damage coming in. Quake is out. All right. So we are going to bring in Euros. Thwart 2, attack of 1, 2 health. If you play him from your hand, confuse a minion for each mental resource you use to pay for him. And he'll just attack for 1 to get rid of a tough. Make your next card 1 cheaper. Use the Quinn Carrier along with a Repulsor Beam to bring in Quasar. 4 to 1, attack of 2, 3 health. After he enters play, remove a threat from each scheme in play. Then he will attack for 2. Back down to 0. Let's see. Cannon. Get rid of tough. We'll go ahead and pitch 1 to ready. Pitch 1 to do 2 damage with that. Then we'll attack for 2, and we got them both down to 0. That means he's upgrading, so scheme of 3, attack of 2, and the same force response and 14 health. And over here, scheme of 2, attack of 3, same ability and 15 health. Then we will use that for 1. Ready. Use it for another 1. Ready. Use it for another 1. Flip down. Use ability to shuffle Repulsor Beam back in. Use that to get 2 more ammo and ender turn. And kind of want to discard it, but I kind of want to keep it, so going to keep it. So 1, 2, full auto, Repulsor Beam for Justice, Counterintelligence, and clear the area. Spread some threat, move that on down. Scheming for 2, 3. So up to 4 out of 6. And counter card is a Surge and reveal the top card of the encounter deck. That's not good. Deal 3 damage to Avenger's Tower. So we're up to 6. And then we've got a Black Order Infantry. Schema 1, attack 2 for health. Guard when defeated. Give the villain a tough status card. So back to our turn. We are going to flip over. Get our 5 counters. Use the Helicarrier. Clear the area, remove 2 threat from a scheme. If we remove the last on that scheme, draw a card. Got our Gauntlet Gun. We will use the Quinn Carrier, and under surveillance, bring in a Gauntlet Gun. Exhaust it, generate a wild resource for a War Machine event, and place 1 ammo counter on War Machine. So we will do that. So that brings a counter on. Then Repulsor Beam, remove an ammo counter from him to deal 4 damage to an enemy. Which we'll use on this, which is going to give the villain a tough status. Then we're going to Shoulder Cannon for 1 to get rid of tough. And spend a token to ready. Then we'll use that to transfer all these ammo counters over to War Machine. Then we're going to go full auto. Remove 4 ammo counters from War Machine and choose an enemy. We're going to choose over there. Deal 8 damage to that enemy and the attack gains overkill. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 8 damage goes down to 6. Then we'll use Quasar to attack for 2, down to 10. Use a token for a missile launcher, down to 8. Then a shoulder cannon for 1. And end our turn. Drawing 5, so targeted strike, downtime, Agent Coulson, clear the area, and Iron Man. So that goes to 5, that goes to 1. Move that over. Attacking for base 2, Euros is going to jump in front of that. So 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. Euros is out. And counter card. When revealed, Proxima Midnight activates against you. We're just going to take it. So 3, 4. We'll add 1 on here. So base 3, 4, 5 damage. So we're down to 6. All right, Helicarrier, make our next card cheaper. Quinn Carrier. So we just need 1 to bring in Agent Coulson. He's going to let us go searching for preparation card. Spycraft. Going to use the Gauntlet Gun, generate a wild resource, and place an ammo counter on War Machine. Remove an ammo counter from War Machine to remove 3 threat from a scheme. Then we're going to play Clear the Area, remove 2 threat from a scheme. If it removes the last of that threat, draw a card. Into a Gauntlet Gun. Then we're going to pitch that to bring in Spycraft. Play only if you control a spy character, which we do. Interrupt. When you reveal an encounter card, discard Spycraft, cancel the effects of that card, and discard it. Then reveal another card from the encounter deck. Okay. So we're going to spend a counter to use that for 2 damage. down to 3, and use that for 1. And pitch a counter to ready to do 1 more, and we'll have Coulson attack for 1. And then we will attack for 2, down to 6. And I probably should have spent more. Could end the game this turn, but we'll go another round. So for justice, sense of justice, targeted strike, and genius. Proxima is going to attack. Coulson's going to defend. So 1, 2, 3 damage. And counter card. The villain in each minion engaged with you attacks you. Worst things could happen. Quasar defends. Let's see if damage from this attack defeats an ally, deal 3 damage to Avenger's Tower. So that takes us to 10, so it's going to flip over. So in reveal, discard each other Avenger's Tower from play. Force response after damage is placed here. If there's at least 9 on it, we will lose the game. Well, our hand, we are set up to remove tons of threat. But instead, we're going to pitch a counter to deal 2 damage. Shoot with the cannon for 1. Pitch a token to ready. Shoot for the cannon for 1. Down to 2. Pitch to ready. And attack for 2. And that is going to be it. War Machine taking on Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive. I was hoping our full auto, didn't have any. They were in our discard pile. Oh well, that would have been nice to have a full auto come out. Anyway, as always, hope you enjoyed this playthrough. So please click on the like button below and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.